A very warm welcome to the top three finishers of the FIA Formula One Dutch Grand Prix. In third place, Charles Leclerc. In second place, Max Verstappen. And taking his second win in Formula One and McLaren's first at Zandvoort since 1985, our winner, Lando Norris. Many congratulations, Lando. What a drive. How satisfying was that performance today?
I mean, a win's always satisfying, so very good. Obviously didn't start in the most optimistic way, but the pace was unbelievable from the beginning, and I could go with Max quite happily at the start. I just didn't expect our pace to be probably as good as what it was today, which is a good thing. It's nice to be kind of a little bit surprised by this, and as soon as I got ahead, it was quite straightforward. I could push. I had good confidence to push the whole race, save the tires a little bit, but just get in a good rhythm and go from there. So car felt amazing, car felt great, and made my life easier for sure. So big thanks to the team.
Zandvoort hasn't been the happiest of hunting grounds for McLaren in recent seasons. Just how much have these upgrades lifted the performance?
I mean, this weekend a little bit. I still feel like we probably would have won without the upgrades this weekend. The upgrades didn't make us suddenly a lot quicker here, you know, but the upgrades we've been putting on the car, they've helped us every time. It's not like we put it on and questioned it. We put it on and it was just did everything it wanted to do and needed to do and it was meant to do. So we've taken our time, and this was our first upgrade since Miami. Yes, we've had little bits along the way, but just like tweaks. It's nothing that's like his performance. And a lot of other people have, you know, so we kind of fell down a little bit the order in terms of delivering parts and delivering upgrades comparing to all of our competition. And this was our first time we really put something on the car to drive us a step forward, and it definitely did that. But it's not like we've not been competitive over the last 2 months. Since Miami, you know, we've been quickest in Budapest and very quick at certain other races like Barcelona and Silverstone and stuff like that. But small things make a big difference. And today, with how the car felt, I'm sure it was a step ahead. You know, a new rear wing probably helped me get past Max today. So little things like that definitely help you go forwards.
After the start, when Max got the jump on you, were you still very confident that you could win this race?
No, I mean, after yesterday, of course, we're confident the pace is going to be good for sure, and my long run pace on Friday was very good. But you don't do anything more than like 10, 11 laps, and you never know in the 72 lap race then what's going to happen. But I would say also, you know, Max's pace didn't look bad on Friday. You could already pick apart a bit of it and kind of give yourself some confidence, but it wasn't like we came into here thinking, yeah, we can easily just pass him on track and pull the gap that we did today, you know. So it's just not often that I've been in the lead and being able to control things and do what I want to do and look after the tires and have clean air and stuff like that. And all of this makes a big difference in the end of the day. So didn't expect things to go as well as it did, but after getting done into turn one and off the line, I was actually just surprisingly calm, maybe because I'm a bit used to going backwards at the start. I'm very prepared for those kind of scenarios, and I was very calm and just, okay, well, what can I do now? And that was just to look ahead, start saving tires and see what I had pace-wise, but really, even like lap 10, 11, 12, 13, I kind of managed to catch Max a little bit again and started to gain quite a bit of optimism that actually I could almost pass him on track. So I had two opportunities. The first one I wasn't quite close enough. The next lap I did it, and I could get my head down from there.
Oscar had a similar problem at the start to you. What can you and the team do to improve the situation going forward?
Not get wheel spin.
Yeah. You make it sound quite an easy solution, but how do you do that?
Obviously not, because otherwise I would have done better then. But I mean, we know what to do. We know what's required to do a perfect start, but we're talking about fine margins here. Because we both didn't get it right, it seems like maybe there was more underlying issue or something wasn't how it's supposed to be, or we've clearly misjudged something more than what others did. But like Oscar's one of the best starters on the grid. I'm not as good as him, but there or thereabouts. And sort of a bad starter, but not as good as obviously what we need to be. And again, it was a race which almost slipped away off the line. But today was, again, different to every other thing that's happened. So kind of like I said before the weekend, we need to find a bit more consistency, but we've worked on it, and I feel like I've done better procedurally, but obviously didn't turn into the correct thing.
So Lando, phenomenal pace here. What does this mean going forward? Let's talk about Monza next weekend. Do you think you'll be as competitive there?
I have no idea. You ask us questions like we're meant to know. I got no idea. Yeah, anyone could be on top. Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, us. Ferrari were quite quick today. We probably didn't expect them to be as good as they were. Maybe Red Bull struggled a bit more. I think that was probably more the factor that the Red Bull struggled a bit more today than we were expecting. So we just keep our heads down. There's no point thinking how we're going to do next weekend. We just get there and work hard and wait till we get there. There's no point thinking ahead.
Very well done today. Good luck next weekend. Max, let's come to you now. So you struggled more than Lando was expecting today. Did you struggle more than you were expecting today?
The whole weekend has been the same. I mean, I have pretty much the same balance from FP1 all the way to the race. I mean, the limitations are the same. So, it's just very hard to solve at the moment. It just seems like we're too slow, but also quite bad on deck at the moment. So that's a bit weird because I think the last few years, normally we've been quite good on that. So something has been going wrong lately with the car that, we need to understand, and we need to, of course, quickly try to improve.
Is there one overriding problem? You said at one point on the radio that the car wasn't responding to your inputs, so is understeer the issue?
It's just not a connected balance, front to rear.
Let's talk about the start. Lando's talked us through it from his point of view. Do you think there was more grip on the inside of the track? Because Charles made progress at the start, so did George Russell, so did you.
I don't think so. I think the start was all right. I had a bit of wheel spin as well, but I think Checo had a good start as well, also on the left-hand side. So I think, we just got it right as a team, probably also, and we have been doing quite well with that in most races this year. But it's also, I think, a bit more difficult to predict because, the weather this weekend is been raining, drying, so you don't really get a consistent grip rate. So sometimes, it's a bit of hit and miss.
Talk us through the early laps. Once you were in the lead, how confident were you of staying there?
I was just doing my own race, looking after the tires the way I tried to do the best I could. But at one point, nothing was turning or responding anymore. So then Lando got quite close. The first time, like he said, he was close but not close enough. And then the next lap, there was nothing that I could do. So once he passed, I just focused on doing my race, tried to bring it to the end in second.
Knowing the car's strengths and weaknesses as you do you think you'll be more competitive at Monza?
I don't know. I mean, we just need to figure out our balance issues. I think that will already help a lot also with DEG. Of course, in Monza, a lot is new. Tarmac, curbs, even the layout in turn 1, 2. So also that we need to to understand a bit more. But we know that we have quite a bit of work to do.
All right, Max, thank you. Charles, let's come to you now. A brilliant race by you and Ferrari. Very well done. You weren't happy with the car at the start of the weekend, so talk us through how you've managed to turn it round.
That is a very good question, and I think the best question is also to understand why we were 9/10 off yesterday and suddenly pretty strong today. The car is exactly the same. Yesterday we've been struggling like crazy. Today we were strong. And these are the kind of things that we've got to work on. I think as much as we analyze every bad surprises we have during a season, we also need to understand when we do something good. For now, I don't think as a team we have the explanations. So it's a great result. I'm really happy to be standing on the podium, and I think it's a really good surprise. However, we've got to understand in order to perform more often at our best.
Talk us through that last segment of the race when you had Oscar Piastri just behind you on fresher tyres. How easy was it to maintain your rhythm at that stage?
It wasn't because my engineer was telling me about Oscar's lap time, which when he was in free air was quite a bit quicker than me. I think nearly a second. Then when he got closer, I started to push a bit more and gain 5 tenths. And I think with the dirty air, he probably lost 3 or 4 tenths. He managed to stay behind and to put me quite under pressure for 2-3 laps, but then couldn't stay there because of the overheating. So it was a really good strategy. I did not expect to keep that third place until the end, but we did a really good job as a team. I don't think there was anything more we could have done today.
Your second consecutive podium. How do you view the coming races?
Again, it's very, very difficult to predict. If you will have asked me that question yesterday, I will have told you it will be very difficult. Today it's much better. If we manage to understand what's going on with our car, then I'm quite optimistic about the future. But for now, we don't quite have the understanding yet.
Thank you for that. Right, let's open this to the floor. Name and publication, please. First one.
Lawrence Edmondson, ESPN. A question for Max. You mentioned this lack of balance in the car. Is it something that has been introduced with development, or was it something that was always there but is now more exposed because you're being pushed that bit harder by McLaren?
I wasn't there in the first few races, but something in the car has made it more difficult to drive, and it's very hard to pinpoint where that is coming from at the moment. That is then hurting, of course, our one-lap performance, but also our long run.
Thanks, Max. Next one.
Dan Lawrence, Motorsport Monday. A question for Charles. Sort of theoretically, the next few races, Monza, Baku, Singapore, should be stronger for Ferrari. So just how important was it to get a good result here to then obviously not only in the home race for the team, but just to have a good solid run of results over the next few races? Thank you.
It's super important. I think we've had 3 or 4 races 4 races ago where we were experimenting quite a lot to try and understand what were the fundamental issues of our car for the development medium term. We've got an upgrade coming very soon, and now I can say actually because Fred said it, so it will be in Monza, and that I hope will help us and help us close the gap. But until the upgrades, I always said the priority for us was just to do a damage limitation, and today we were targeting P6. Realistically, I think on paper that's what we were fighting for. However, after 3-4 laps, the pace was there, and we could do P3, which is a good surprise again. So good points. However, now I just hope that the upgrades helps us to do a step forward.
Thank you. Next one.
Ronald Vodding, motorsport.com. Question to Max. Helmut Marko just told me that he finds today's result quite alarming for Red Bull, and he says something needs to happen quickly, otherwise both championships are under threat. How alarming do you find today, and how do you look at the Drivers' Championship where you still got quite a margin? And to Lando, how confident are you of really having a shot at the Drivers' Championship this year?
I think this weekend was just a bad weekend in general, so we need to understand that, but the last few races already, they haven't really been fantastic. So that, I think, in a sense, was already a bit alarming. But we know that we don't need to panic. We know we are just trying to improve the situation, and that's what we are working on. But F1 is very complicated.
I mean, I've been fighting for the championship since the first race of the year. There's no sudden decision of now I need to do better, or I've been working hard the whole year, and I'm still 70 points behind Max, so it's pretty stupid to think of anything at the minute. I just take one race at a time and just keep doing what I'm doing now, because there's no point to think ahead and think of the rest. I don't care about it at the minute. I'm just focused one race at a time, so it's not a question that I need to get asked every single weekend.
Thanks both. Next one. Any more? Yes, one more.
Taylor Parlin, Motorsport Monday. Question to Lando. Congratulations on your win. You and the team have been reluctant to say you had the fastest car at points this season, but after today, with how dominant the drive was and with the upgrades, do you feel more confident to say that you do now have the fastest package?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Today, the whole weekend, I think we've had the best car. I think we've on average had the best car for sure. We've not had a dominant car at any point this season. I would say, even if you go back to Hungary, as much as people hate me to say it, Max was still very quick in Hungary. He just didn't have a great race, but his pace was very, very strong. And obviously we know more information than people do on the outside, so we can comment in much more factual ways than people can, who are just watching on TV and taking their picks and guesses. We've had on average the best car. We probably should have won 2-3 more races as a team, but we didn't, and we're not saying anything more than that. We should have won and we didn't, and that's because we've not done a good enough job. I didn't do a good enough job, and we worked hard over the summer break to just try and take a step back and reset and go again. So yes, we've had a great car. This was, like I said earlier, our first time we brought some good upgrades to the car since Miami. They worked very well then. They've worked once again now. And it's still a long way to go. So we still have to keep working hard, because this is just Zandvoort. Monza's a completely different circuit. So we'll keep our heads down and keep chipping away.
Thanks, Lando. Any more? Yes, another one.
Marijn Albenhuis, AD Sportwereld. Question for Max. Since the end of 2020, there hasn't been a period as long as this one in which you didn't get a win. How do you feel about that, and do you see enough perspective to turn it around quickly?
That happens, right? I've had a lot of good years. Some people have never won a race in their career, so you can also look at it like that. From my side, we at the moment don't have the fastest car. We have some issues that we have to solve, and we are working on that. That's the only thing that I can say about that. We're very focused on it. There's still a lot of races left, a lot of different kind of tracks. This weekend was just not our best weekend.
Thanks, Max. Any more? No more? We will leave it there. Very well done. See you at Monza. Thank you.